done with.
Dude, you've been done.
I'm still here.
For what? Why? Because you just want to be a asshole.
You're right.
Then why the would you be in this competition? Bone face.
Why do you look 50 and you're 24?
What? What did you say? Go yourself.
Would you rather have the brand new PS5 or a weekend with these three lovely ladies and you can do anything you want with them?
Wait, anything with them?
Like anything.
A whole weekend?
A whole weekend.
Damn, but the PS5 though, like it just.
I know.
Oh, damn, y'all beautiful though, but.
Hold on, what'd you say?
PS5 or us?
Oh, bro, y'all beautiful, but I had a PlayStation 4 for 4 years, but I need a PS5.
God.
My nigga.
Y'all, so this dude came in my DM yesterday. He was like, "You're pretty, I'm trying to get to know you." He literally sent me $1,000 just to get to know me. And y'all literally sit here and think I'm gonna get to know y'all for free when somebody just paid me $1K for him to get to know me? Be so for real.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now.
Would you feel comfortable if your father was watching your OnlyFans and subscribing to it?
Probably not. No.
You would not feel comfortable, and I'll tell you why. That's because in your heart of hearts, in your soul, if you still got one, you know it's wrong. That's your work. In my work, if my mother consumed my work, I'd be thankful and pleased that she took an interest in my work and supported my work. If she bought my products, I'd be thankful. If your mother or father bought your products, you'd be disgusted and ashamed because you know what you're doing is wrong and the product of what you're doing is bad.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
I got a question for you. Do you have car insurance?
100%. No reason.
All right. Do you have homeowners insurance?
100%.
Do you have life insurance?
100%.
Do you have medical insurance?
100%.
Did you get tired of your insurance agent talking about the possibilities of you losing your life and being rewarded? Hold on for a second. I know, but don't be a butt person. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. You have insurances. Although it's a very uncomfortable situation, and life insurance people who sell it tend to be scumbags. They tend to be looked at as scumbags, like, I don't want to have this conversation about me dying, but you surely will die. So you better have the conversation. The reality is, yes, it's a very tough conversation. I have to spend a lot of time talking about it. It's very difficult. However, there needs to be some insurance, and there's no insurance, and so we must talk about it.
He ain't lying.
What's up, y'all? It's Cali West. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you're feeling this shit. I ain't gonna front y'all, you know what I'm saying? Your boy got some cutty, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Real talk, I meant to not even come on tonight, but you know, the show must go on. You know, I don't really always come on Thursdays, but hey, we about to do it anyway, right? So salute to everybody checking in. My boy Sean Killman says, gotta see this. I hate Yada Ninja. And then Demetrius Hendricks says, Kelly West, let's go. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Now, now I must say I already discussed about Yada awakening and you know what I'm saying, everything that I disagree with his character and his philosophy and his, you know, wanting to be Pan-Africanism, but you know, that's, you know, we're gonna leave that for a moment. But with that being said, the reason why I bring up the fact that the 10 red flags of Yada awakening, it was actually just a play on words because he made an IG post And on the IG post, you know, he's always pandering, right? And on that IG post, he says something. Well, he basically was messaging. He basically mentions, essentially, he says, basically, damn, did I not post it? Wait a minute, damn it. Oh, there we go. So, at any rate, so, okay, wait a minute. Okay, where's it at? I literally just made the post just so I could show it on YouTube. Here we go. Boom. Once again, I appreciate y'all boys for your patience. Everybody tuning in. Here we go. Boom. So yeah. So as you see here, and I'll change the layout. So you see, Yada Awakening, his post says 10 red flags in men. Oh, okay. So let's read these 10 flags. And we're gonna go through them. All right. So the first one is, let's see here. Listen to Kevin Samuels, Andrew Tate, or Red Pill podcast. I wonder why.
I don't give a fuck what you think, bitch.
Now, he says, I guess the number 2 red flag is demand submission, but doesn't lead with love, vision, or stability. Now, I must say, that is probably the one thing that I must agree with, you know, that I have to be honest, because let's just be real. If you do want a woman to submit, you know, Coach Greg Adams, he's been Mitch slapping a lot on his channel, like every evening, you know, the last couple of nights. And the truth is that he kind of mentioned that something that's very true, you know. The red pill space is full of a lot of fakers and a lot of dudes who are really purple pill and blue pill, and they're masquerading as red pill men. With that being said, even though I don't really necessarily I don't like Yada Awakening's character or his messaging, I must say category number 2 is technically right. Yes, me and you could go back to 2016 talking points, 2015 talking points, and I could say, well, beta bucks, alpha fucks, and Pookie gets it for free, and I could say, Chad and Tyrone, I gotta pay, or they get it for free. I could really hit you with those talking points, but the truth is that's not even being realistic. Okay, yeah, the hood rat hoe on Figueroa or in Miami Gardens, she might be down to fuck with Pookie and Ray Ray over you, but the question is, if you want a quality female, right? Like y'all say y'all want these virtuous females, right? These women who are like damn near virgins, right? These women who are gonna be willing to like listen and shut up, right? And be traditional. Well, traditional women, let's just be real. Traditional women do actually need, it will make sense that, if you kind of want this from a woman, that you should give a woman, well, at least stability, love, I'm not gonna be about semantics with this love and a vision and stability. It is true. Like, I mean, I do agree with that talking point. Shit. Who can contest that? That's not even really his talking point. That's essentially how it should be. You wouldn't go to your job if your manager wasn't leading, if your manager wasn't paying you, and if your manager didn't have at least a vision of what your job was supposed to be, right? I mean, if you think about it, if you came to work every day, yeah, they probably paid you, but they didn't really have you doing any work. You just basically kick back all day and stuff like that. Yeah, you might just go ahead and benefit off the check, but eventually you might need more in your life. You feel me? And you might end up realizing why they're paying you that money, which is probably a waste of your time. So, but that kind of goes back to this talking point. That talking point can be used by anybody. Red pill space. You could be a Derrick Jaxn ass nigga like this nigga, but that's something that I can't undispute, hands down. Number 3, he says refer to women as females. Here's the thing. That's straight up from the females talking points. And I'm gonna say, I said that just to be sarcastic, because only a woman would make a problem about a female. If a woman says, I have no problem with these males, I'm not gonna be like, get offensive and say male. Yeah, I'm a male. I have an XY chromosome. I'm a male. A woman has an XX chromosome. She's a female. I mean, I don't see what the problem is with that, but like I said, Yada Awakening is just definitely, he's just definitely, a panderer. So I guess that's supposed to be a red flag just because a man calls a woman female. Oh, my bad. Yada Awakening, he wants us to call them the divine feminine and the divine queens and Mother Earth and Mother Africa and all that type of shit. You feel me?
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
This is a sick Negro.
Man, and unfortunately, men before me, men before, a lot of the greatest, in this YouTube manosphere space, Coach Greg Adams, I don't know, who else? Donovan Sharp, whether you want to talk about Ringo TV or Tom Likas or anything like that, they've been men way before the internet even existed, before people even had color TV. And the truth is that, these men knew, they knew that there are certain things about female nature that, that doesn't change. And calling them a man calling a woman a female is not one of them. But okay, let's go back to the fourth talking point. He says he believes men are supposed to cheat and a woman are supposed to stay loyal. Well, I'll say this much, Yada Awakening, and I'm talking to you straight up. Now, well, before I even take a shot, or not really think to take a shot, but yeah, well, hey, he's the one with talking points, so yeah, I guess I am taking a shot. But what's crazy is that you sit down here and preach about how our job is to provide and protect this woman. But then what are the expectations? I mean, there has to be other expectations other than her just being a woman, because as far as you saying, you're supposed to be able to, you're supposed to wake up at early as in the morning and feed, not only are you supposed to provide and protect this woman, but you're also supposed to feed her too. Like it can't go both ways. You can't be the one who's bringing home the bacon and cooking the bacon too. So which one is it, Yada Awakening? Because I could honestly agree that, hey, if a man is with a woman and he tells her that he's being faithful, I hate to say this, y'all, but I'm saying you should be honest. You shouldn't lie to a chick. Me, that's why I don't have a relationship, because any girl who's gonna be with me, she gotta know I'm gonna be sharing her with other women. I mean, she be sharing me with other women. You know what I'm saying? That no woman's gonna tell me where I could put my phallus. No one's gonna tell me where I could put my dick. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. So, and the best thing I can suggest for anyone who wants to be with me is, if you don't want me fucking nobody else, just make sure you keep my balls drained. Make sure you keep my balls drained. Keep me happy. Because I think that's the only thing that could probably really keep a man from, and not even then at times, because what if he's a busy man? He's out of town. He don't want to have the urge. With that being said, you don't want a complete dog, but at the same time, fellas, you should be honest with your woman, and trust me, you might not be able to keep that woman that way or that type of woman, but maybe that's because you're not supposed to be with her. You're supposed to be with a woman who's okay with you having other hoes. But the whole lying shit, you shouldn't have to lie. But at the same time, let's go back to this talking point. Any man, he's referring to the man who's being honest. Because there's men who will tell you straight up, look, hey, I don't mind being with you, but guess what? I'm going to have other hoes. And, and let's just be real. Women should stay loyal. Why? Because guess what? If she has a problem with that dude that she's sleeping with behind my back, right? And he decides that he wants to fuck her up, I'm going to have to be the one who's going to be the protector, and I have to protect her from, protect him from her. Protect her from him. And then I might be the one who ended up losing my life. Why? Because she barked up the wrong tree. Now, yes, women could end up being the demise of yourself. Rest in peace to young Scooter. We understand that. But at the same time, if men are expected to be protected, the protected can't do the same thing as the protector. So, women and men are not created equal at awakening. These same women that you're telling that, oh, man shouldn't want to have other women, these women want men with experience. That's why you don't hear women ask for male virgins. They want men who are experienced. It's only men who want virgins. That's because they don't want to feel like, they're sharing a woman with someone. But other than that, women don't ask for men who don't have any stripes on their dick. Come on now. Matter of fact, if anything, women want men who got stripes on their dick, because guess what? Men who got stripes on them. When I say stripes, I'm talking about stripes in the army. You feel me? Like bitch, what I'm saying? I done had a few holes on my dick. You feel me? Dumb female's gonna want a man who has experience anyway. So for you to go talk about, men who believe that men should be able to cheat. It's not cheating if it's not cheating if you tell them straight up that you're not giving her a monogamy. What I expect from you is different from what you expect from me. Just like how you expect me to pay the bills or to break bread or pay for shit, right? And protect you. Is the same way you should not be driven by me fucking another bitch. Because guess what? If anything, fucking her good, just makes me better for you, baby. You heard me? Just makes her better for me. Hey, fucking her. The other chick just makes me better for you, baby. You might not believe it, but it's the truth.
All up in me at one time. Don't try to make me take all that dick at one time.
Slow and easy.
He said, don't worry. I wouldn't do that to you. I would not rush all this dick up in you at one time. I'm going to take it easy on you. She said, okay, I think I can take it. So he laid down. The nigga rushed all that dick up in her.
Jammed it in her then.
Jammed and round.
Like Jam City.
All kind of.
So let's go to his next talking point. He says, wants a soft woman, but keeps giving her hard times.
Run! Go! Get to the chopper!
Well, see, that's the thing. That's very subjective. What is giving her hard times? Because you fucking another female is not giving her hard times. And you saying, baby, we live in this apartment. We live in this 1-bedroom apartment. You say you want to have kids. Well, guess what? I know that, I know, I'm paying 100% of the bills, but baby girl, I'm going to need you to cover that utility bill. I'm going to need you to cover that cable bill. I might need you to cover an insurance on one of the cars, baby. Can you do that for like 6 months, 7 months? He'll say that that's not making your girl soft anymore, because now you're asking her to pay, even if it's a fraction of the bills, it's still something that, he feels that women should not do, right? But here's a caveat. Your goal is to make whatever soft life you're giving her softer, because if you put her in a house, at least she'll have at least something, for the future, right? But guess what? No. Based off of Yada Awakening, you should pay all the bills and just go broke for the bitch anyway. Y'all ain't even married yet. You should just go broke for the woman because she's a divine feminine. Which is problematic because, the black community needs strong black. Well, not saying I'm trying to say the community, but you would think that since he's a community man, especially the fact that he be going to Africa and he be like dealing with the Africans and stuff. Not that anything's wrong with the Africans, but he's obviously enthralled in their community. Well, what about your Black American community that you have in in West Palm Beach or, South Florida? What about them? I mean, but at the end of the day, he doesn't give women false hope, because let's just say fine. We all agreed with Yada Awakening and said, fine, you know what? We're going to go break our bread and, break our bread for these women. By the ratio of how many black men there are per black woman, most black women or half of black women are going to be, I wouldn't say half, but at least a good fourth or a third of black women will essentially be asked out and not have a man. So in a black community, if anything, we're already practicing non-monogamy anyway. We're already practicing polygamy and polygyny. Mainly polygamy, unfortunately. With that being said, man, might as well have other females, right? I mean, I don't know. I just kind of feel like that just makes sense from a biological standpoint. But hey, what do I know? Now, what's the next thing on his menu? Oh, shit. He says, calls women gold diggers, but have no gold. Goddamn.
Emotional damage.
See, this is some female talking points. I don't know if he was talking to his mama when he was writing these talking points down, but that's something typical that women say in the hood. We don't hear women say that. Men are complaining about women, being gold diggers, or women, they're scared to get married to women, for money they don't have. But let's just be real. We all know that men make more money as they get older. The older men get, especially if they're on a career path, it's going to be much more than they're making in their 20s or in their 30s. So yes, marrying a woman when you're broke and you're working at Walmart part-time while you're going to school might not be a great idea, because when you finally get your law degree and all that, right, and you're starting to kind of get your money together, after you have a 2-year-old child, she might decide once she want to pull the plug on her marriage. And guess what? There you go. Boom. Back at your mama's house. An attorney with a $150,000 degree back at your mom and dad's house. Why? Because you're following this goofy ass ninja. Because you think, oh, just because you don't have no gold, then you shouldn't be worried about gold diggers. Like I said, at the end of the day, we all know, we all understand that women need money. I would be a liar if I was to sit down here on this TV tonight and it'll say that you don't need money to date a woman, or you shouldn't give her something. I'm not saying that you shouldn't give her something, but he doesn't even set expectations for what they should give. And that's why I say that he's literally just setting sisters up for failure, because they're expecting a Yada Awakening type of dude. You know what I'm saying? They want you to be paying all the bills and, worship them as their divine feminine, but they're not even willing to give you a smile the first time you meet them on the street. A lot of these chicks, let's just be real. To get cooperation from these chicks, you definitely got to break bread. But just the way that he's going about it, and or at least lying about it, it's not. This is not the most women who pay attention and follow Yada Awakening, which is probably a lot of Africans, but people who pay attention to this whole type of awakening stuff are women who can't even get this from their men, whether it's their economic situation, their physical situation, and or both. But charlatans will be charlatans. What is the next one he got up? He says, think marriage is a trap for men, but still wants a woman to serve, cook, stay loyal, and never ask for a commitment. Well, I say this much, brother. That's a problem that's been a problem that's been played in the black community for many years. But is there a possibility that has to do with the fact that you're talking about, how we should just give women everything? Because essentially that's what the government did. The government decided to turn its back on black men and give the black woman everything. And unfortunately, she didn't want everything. She just wanted the EBT and the child support. Not all black women, but a good number of them, to the point that now we have generations of people growing up on Section 8, passing down their Section 8 from their, from mother to daughter, or grandmother to mother, and to mother to granddaughter. What about that? But as I digress, so Yada Awakening, he essentially feels that, that essentially, realizing that, saying that the marriage and the divorce court and child support court is a scam, that means that, it's just not a trap. It's literally a trap. That's literally what it is. But like I said, he wants to pander as a woman, because at the end of the day, transfer of wealth happens with women and marriage. Then he says, number 8, believes being a man makes him superior. Well, I'll say this much. Yada Awakening, you're going to give me some bullshit answer, or you're going to have a bullshit answer to this, but I'll just say this much. If the man is supposed to give the woman everything, provide, protect, provide, protect, love her, is he not superior to her? Because not one time did he ever say that she's supposed to reciprocate this. Don't we live in the 21st century? Don't women have equal rights? Why is she not equally loving him, cherishing him, and providing for him, just as he's doing for her? Well, let me guess, you're going to go tell me some BS about just the fact that he's a man. Yeah, I understand that he's a man, and the man should have rights to a lot of things, like having another woman, not having to go, bring home the bacon and cook it too. Shit like that, and not have to worry about, all the other bullshit that's going on in his everyday that makes her live comfortable. Now, number 9 says, expect to cook, clean, and submit, and stay pretty, but pours nothing into you. Like, I mean, what? You're giving her dick. You let her live at your house. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure y'all have some good times. I mean, she's obviously decided to be with you because she at least enjoyed the sex. I mean, let's just be real. Do women not expect you to provide, protect, and love her and stay handsome? But let me ask you a question, Yada Awakening. How much has your woman poured into you? Because you're over here talking about pouring into her. What has she poured into you? What have most women poured into you? Most women don't pour anything into anyone, unfortunately. If they pour into you, it's probably going to be of some bad habits or some bad behaviors.
Emotional damage.
Now, the last thing he says is glorify, struggle, love, and expect you to suffer before you deserve softness. Like I said, even though I don't necessarily agree with his cat about a lot of things, there's a truth to that. There's a truth to that. Definitely some truth to that. Because at the end of the day, a woman, from a biological standpoint, she's going to want to go with the best situation, And hey, you can't be mad if a woman try to go through a better situation. The only caveat is just don't bring your ass back.
You're a victim.
Here we go, CSI.
That's crazy because, I mean, you hear a lot on the internet, a lot of dudes talk about, oh, you don't need to trick, you don't need to pay, blah, 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 blah. But these are the same men who want women to be faithful, but they don't want to provide and protect for them. It costs to have a virgin. It costs to have a woman who's not going to be giving up to everybody. Because guess what? Any woman who's, by herself, she definitely got to be busybody and giving up that pussy. A Man Supported Man comes through. He says, salute to Cali West and everyone in the chat. I appreciate you for checking in, my G. Bless. So, yeah, man. So, the whole Yada Awakening thing, he just another stinko salesman, another Derrick Jaxn. He's just going to go ahead and tell people what they want to hear, but then provide no real solutions, because at the end of the day, Black women truly need help. Black women, I truly believe that Black women really need to, if Black women was to hear more truth, they'll probably be better off. But hey, people want to keep on. Look, they just want to just kick that can, keep kicking that can down the road. But yo, man, A Man Supported Man says Cali West will be taking Yada's place in the future. The kind of pandering in the making. Woohoo! You damn right. I'm gonna do it good too. Hey, that'll be the biggest turn heel since that'll be the biggest heel turn since shit. I don't know what. Since Rock that'll be the biggest heel turn since shit, I don't know. That'll just be a major heel turn. And hey, and I'll do that shit too. I'll tell you this much. Hey, I'll tell you one thing. I'll probably get more support from more from these hoes. Because you know how ninjas are, man. Hey, a man supported man. Unfortunately, I know you're a man supporting man, but many men don't be supporting other men. You know what I'm saying? That's actually why you got your name. Not many men are supporting each other. So, at the end of the day, people want to just keep on using this jive pimp talk to keep hoes and to keep them hoes together. But yo, hey, read this. If I ever decide to become a Derrick Jaxn ass nigga, read this. At least I won't be fucking wearing no damn kufi, and I won't be lying to these hoes. But I forgot. That's what Yada Awakening and Derrick Jaxn does. They lie to these hoes. They ain't giving none of these hoes this reality. I would say out of maybe two out of those 10 talking points were actually points that actually made sense. But yep. But shit, that panderism, man, that should be making some bread, bro. I ain't gonna say that I don't be seeing people pandering and making all that money. I could easily do it. Shit. Easily do it. Easily. But then it won't be authentic. I truly believe that people can feel authenticity, man. Straight up. But yeah, man, I just kind of wanted to really just talk my shit about this Yada Awakening fool. This dude just, women are probably posting this and they actually agree with what he got to say, which is crazy. But man, y'all, it's about getting close to midnight. But I will be back tomorrow. Like I said, this is just a little, video just to talk my shit about this Yada Awakening fool. But man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in the chat. Once again, it's Cali West. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you're feeling this shit. Y'all have a good night. Cali West, I'm out here.